Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Farsi Show presented by MyBookie, MyBookie.ag, and it's wonderful to have you along for the ride. Oh, my goodness gracious. I can only imagine if somebody in my circle of friends went on the radio, went up to a microphone in general, and just talked about how me and my friends, me and my one friend, we're not friends anymore. We used to be friends, but now it's different. I can only imagine would that be like any invasion of privacy for anybody's life, not just in the football world. Like our dear beloved Brandon Graham went on WIP yesterday and told Spike and Howard Eskin that, number 1 and number 11 used to be friends. Now it's different. Okay. Oh, boy. Well, Brandon Graham almost immediately walked that back to his credit because when I heard it, I thought, that's weird. They're no longer friends? Really? What? How's that happen? And literally, I point to last Thursday, A.J. Brown at his locker, and I played the clip for you yesterday, talking about how Jalen has improved on taking what the defense has given him when he was asked specifically the question, by the way, by the same reporter that Brandon Graham later clarified his comments to, Tim McManus of ESPN. A.J. Brown stood there at his locker when he was asked by Tim McManus, and Tim McManus, hey, what is Jalen Hurts improved upon? And he goes, taking what the defense gives him. I think really taking what the defense gives him. Also, not taking the bait, if you want to call it that, when he was asked about his targets being down again last year, or this year, from last year to this year. It's an interesting thing. I also maintain, now I went back and I rewatched some of A.J. Brown's January 3rd media session at his locker. This is when he broke his media silence for, I think, a little bit over 2 weeks. And I remembered it exactly how it went down. Sometimes your memory gets a little different. You might get one or two words wrong. No, I nailed it yesterday. He should have taken his own advice from last year and shut the hell up. That's what A.J. Brown should have done. Your team has won 9 in a row. I'll go into it later. Your team has won 9 in a row. You're still one of the leading receivers in the entire NFL, and you've missed 3 games. Oh, and did I mention the part about where your team's won 9 in a row, and you're coming off a win? Another one, the 9th in a row? AJ, I have no doubt in my mind that AJ is concerned about the overall passing game and its well-being with the Philadelphia Eagles offense. He's justified. I agree with him. But look, I know everyone thinks that you just want to cling and find any morsel of drama. For those people, I know there's one person in the comment section yesterday that accused me of such slander. I was the guy last week telling you to forget it. Like, just ignore the people that are telling you Jalen Hurts is going to hold you back from winning a Super Bowl. This is a Jalen Hurts. This is a Jalen Hurts that was the most efficient quarterback in a Super Bowl ever. Okay? He's played in a Super Bowl. It's not like he's not battle tested. We've seen him on that stage, and he performed phenomenally well. So I don't subscribe to the idea, well, Jalen Hurts is obviously holding him back. I watched the film yesterday, and I have a comprehensive report on what I saw. And yes, a lot of it justifies what A.J. Brown had to say, but it also justifies exactly what Jalen Hurts, the word Jalen Hurts used to describe what was wrong with this passing attack. Not on the same page, not synchronized. That I thought was the perfect word. And then when I was watching it yesterday, I went, this is, everyone's out of sync. This is weird. And then I went, wait, where did I hear that recently? Oh, yeah, Jalen Hurts said that about the passing game. So I have some plays that I'm going to highlight for you in terms of what went wrong on these plays, a couple of rulings, whether or not I found Jalen guilty of the play not working, whether or not I found AJ guilty of just being a prima donna, being a me-first guy, not a team guy. And then I have one particular play where just everything went wrong. O-line didn't pick up their blocks. 2 defensive ends converged on Jalen Hurts, forcing a play up the middle. We'll get to it all on today's program. We also are going to hear from Nick Sirianni. He makes his comments regarding Jalen Hurts and the passing attack and A.J. Brown overall and what he does with the locker room. of offensive players that seem like, hey, you know, we should really get this offense going again via the passing game. We don't want to forget about it. And I made the point yesterday that I maintain the idea that this rushing attack is the most potent weapon in the NFL. Saquon Barkley behind this Eagles offensive line, the most potent, dangerous attack in the NFL. Go ahead and try to stop us, that type jazz, right? That doesn't mean that justifies the fewest passing attempts in the NFL. Like, when you have A.J. Brown, when you have Devontae Smith, and you have Jalen Hurts, and you have this offensive line as well, it goes in the passing game also. The fewest passing attempts in the NFL? That seems odd. Very odd. So we'll get into the whole thing. We'll go through some of the clips first, and then we'll get into the finger pointing, if you will, when it comes to the film breakdown. Because I was watching it yesterday on the All-22, and there were instances, and they range from, just to give you an idea, they range from pressure immediately in Jalen Hurts' face, Jalen Hurts holding the ball too long, Jalen Hurts staring down a receiver, which was actually very rare, by the way. I found one of the things that was really interesting from watching it yesterday was watching Jalen go through his progressions. Oh, what? I thought he didn't go through progressions. No, he was going through his progressions. And on one instance for sure, possibly two, right where Jalen Hurts would throw the football to hit an open A.J. Brown, linemen were right there in his face. One instance, there's three guys in his line of sight, and A.J.'s wide open, and everyone's going to kill him, because if a wide receiver is open, that means that the quarterback has gotten on a lift that has lifted him above the field to look at everything and notice with great obviousness that there's a receiver open downfield. That's not how football works. Everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, some people know better. The quarterback has to see the target. And if he doesn't see the target, he has to know where the target's going to be. So there's one instance that we'll get into where A.J. Brown was wide open, where regardless of what's in front of him, Jalen Hurts needs to make the play downfield. So we'll get into that conversation as well. Also, let me take a look at our chat just real quick. I just want to see who's in there. Yeah, so I got a personal announcement that affects the show in the near, hopefully not too near future. I got some bad news yesterday about a family member, and it looks like there could be even worse news soon. So if I can't do a show, I'll make sure I'll actually put up the thumbnail early. How about that? And I'll let you guys know, like, hey, no show today, because I know we started a sporadic time, so I got some stuff going on where my attention might be elsewhere. My mom and dad are good, the kids are good, wife's good. I just some stuff I gotta handle within the family. So and I got some responsibility with this, so I gotta tend to some family stuff. So if there's not going to be a show on any given day, I will put up a thumbnail, just like, hey, no show today. Have a great day, whatever. So just if you pray, send some good, send some prayers to my family. If you just believe in vibes, which is fine, send some good vibes my family's way. There's some people that could certainly need it even more so than me. So that's all. I just wanted to make sure I wanted to give you guys the heads up that if I don't have a show abruptly one morning, I will at least put it up there like, hey, no show today. Have a great day. So yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I'll also clue you guys in more after everything goes down. So I just want to let you guys know that. So football. Let me get into this first. Brandon Graham went on WIP, and he gave his 2 cents on what was going on between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. And he basically said A.J. Brown needs to be more accountable for himself. Fine. I like that. I thought it was a lot for a player to say, regardless of whether or not he's playing. I thought that was a lot for a current member of the team to say. But, hey, great. Give us more. And I agree. After watching the film yesterday, I agree. We'll get into that specifically in a second. But I agree with that A.J. Brown needs to be held more accountable, and A.J. Brown needs to hold himself more accountable. Right on, BG. Love what you had to say about that. And then he also said that 1 and 11 used to be friends, and now it's different. And then he invoked like the business side of things changes stuff and all that. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Was there a falling out that wasn't covered? Because nothing ever seemed to get between these two. Even last year, Jalen Hurts was more reliant on A.J. Brown to be more of a leader. Even last year, you could see the two, out and about. Now, did a lot of things shift in the offseason? Well, I know they changed the offensive coordinator, who was Jalen's guy. They brought in Kellen Moore, but I didn't hear or see anything that would allude to the idea of all of a sudden Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown no longer being besties. So I thought that was odd. And if there's any type of wrench thrown into the middle of this relationship, I thought it wouldn't go unnoticed, especially with the team at the time winning 8 games in a row. You just know that somebody's going to be sniffing around being like, is everything okay with A.J. Brown? Is everything okay with Jalen Hurts? Somebody's going to tip somebody else off, because this isn't like all of a sudden the Eagles just started being the least passing team in the NFL. So somebody please make this make sense. Nobody found this story out. So I don't think there's a riff personally between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. So I found that odd. Now, whether or not Brandon Graham was referring to something that happened on the field or a disconnect on the field or not being on the same page, not having the same chemistry, whatever the case might be. So I found that to be very odd. So then later in the evening, if you guys haven't seen this, later in the evening, you see these tweets coming out from Tim McManus. Tim McManus put it out there saying, in a ESPN, just spoke with Brandon Graham. He clarified his comments about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown's relationship, saying, quote, I just assumed about their friendship. It made me out to look even worse because I had it all wrong. Now people are going to run with that part. Yeah, here's the deal. Once you say it, you can't go, oh, God, huh? One of my favorite comedians, Brian Regan, does a bit on, oh, no, words are coming out. He can't put the words back in your mouth. So Brandon put it out there. Now, even if he says that was 100% wrong and like names of people's relationships that have actually fallen apart on the team, people are going to be like, yeah, whatever. We don't care about that, because you said originally, and if you didn't mean it and if you didn't know it, why just say it? So I think this is BG assuming, and I agree in him using the word assume. I think he wanted to say something on the radio. I think he didn't want to lie. I think he didn't want to cover anything up. And I think he looked at it from afar and went, all right, there's no way these two guys are having the same relationship off the field as they once did. Now, apparently, I have no doubt that somebody reached out like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm wrong. Miss Scoozy. All right. Tim McManus goes on to tweet out, again, quoting Brandon Graham, I really just want to win, man. I want brothers to be able to just hash it out. And I'm going to make sure I apologize to both of them. Good for you. As far as the overall message, I wasn't trying to be divisive. I just didn't want us to use the media in a bad way. I can't do that either. If I've got something to say, I've got to go to the people too. Very good. I'll get rid of the banner there for a second. There we go. I made the mistake and I assumed that it was something that it wasn't. I just want to win so bad that I don't just want to use the media when we need to talk about something and we can fix the problems ourselves. I didn't add to it in a good light, so that's my bad. I'd say Brandon did a fine job of walking it back. But it's out there. So now people are going to run with this as to what it meant. I find it very weird because usually dudes are pretty malleable. Bro relationships are like, okay, whatever, man. Like, you never know, obviously, what goes on behind the scenes. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that if it was anything worth bragging about, it would have been public. Especially when there are media members that are like, all right, everything's going great. What can I do to get a negative story? Which is exactly why I told people, ignore the noise on how Jalen Hurts is a huge problem with this team. Because that is that screams to me, is Jalen Hurts holding this team back from winning? That screams to me, oh my God, my team is 8-0 in their last 8 games. Oh my goodness gracious, everybody else in the division pretty much sucks except for the Commanders. Get me a story on ripping the quarterback. How can I make everyone doubt the quarterback? Okay, the running game's so good, so that obviously means that the quarterback sucks. I don't buy into that. And I told you not to buy into that last week. And now, if there's a story about a wide receiver and a quarterback not being on the same page on and off the field, you mean to tell me that's not going to come out sooner than Brandon Graham saying it and then walking it back? Saying he just assumed something? Yeah, I think it's going to come out sooner than 9 games. Anyway, Nick Sirianni yesterday was asked about his relationship with A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown, when he gets frustrated, how Nick Sirianni handles it. Not just with A.J., but any player.
We talk about it all, we talk about everything. I'd like to think I'm really close with A.J., and he'd probably say the same thing. And so you talk about everything. A.J. is a great football player that we always are trying to get the ball in his hands. There's no doubt, because he's a great player. It doesn't always work as simple as easy as that. There's other factors of things that they can take away. You're running the ball well, the situation in the game. There's a lot of factors that go into that. I think what's important that we talk about always is controlling the things that you can control. And what AJ can control is going out there and doing a good job of beating the man over top of him when he's running a route and blocking the guy he's supposed to when he's in the run game. And so I have, AJ's got, has missed 3 games and has 800 and plus yards. And so he's making a big contribution. But I know he wants the football because, he knows how much he can help our team when he touches the football. Just like Saquon, just like Devontae, just like Jalen, just like Dallas Goedert, when they get the ball, Kenny Gainwell, when they get the ball in their hands, they know they can affect the game. And so, again, I think I know that AJ is a great teammate and, a great person. And those things I know for sure about AJ.
You heard that correct. You did throw Kenny Gainwell into that mix as well. And Kenny's had a good year, so I don't mean to rip him, but I thought that was funny. If you remember at the end of last year, during the regular season when AJ broke the silence and finally talked to the media, one of the things he got into was how much he loves Nick Sirianni and how much Nick takes up for him. And I've never heard a player do it before. And even going through the entire Andy Reid era of I got to do a better job, my responsibility, better position for better plays and success for players, blah, blah, blah. I never once heard a player go, Andy takes up for us all the time, but really that was on me. Like, I've never heard that. And A.J. Brown, when he was addressing the media finally, after his media absence and silence for a week and a half, whatever it was, A.J. Brown goes out there and is like, yeah, by the way, Nick tried to say that was on him. The improvisation between Jalen Hurts and I at the end of the Seattle game that led to an interception, but that was on us. We improvised that play. Nick tries to take it on the chin for us, but that was on us. And I was like, damn, AJ, I've never heard that. And then, you're not supposed to hear that from a diva wide receiver. Really, this is the first time this week, Sunday. And I said at the start of yesterday's show, this is the first time I ever looked at AJ Brown and was like, diva, dude, shut up. Even by last year's standard, his own standard, he should have kept his mouth shut. So listening to Nick Sirianni talk about his relationship and his confidence in his relationship with A.J. Brown and the communication, I believe every word of it because I do believe it is on both sides. And I do think Nick has the ability to be like, all right, what's going on here? Do we need to call better plays? Yes. Do we need to find out a way to get off to better starts? Yeah. Like maybe it's a better idea to not have Jahan Dotson the 2 targets before A.J. Brown gets even a target. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe Grant Calcaterra shouldn't have 2 catches before A.J. Brown gets even a target, which is what happened in this game against the Panthers. So let's get on the same page there, and I think some of it does come down to coaching. A lot of it, yes, does come down to Jalen Hurts needing to be better in these particular cases, certainly. And the other part of it is, AJ, why is this a problem now? Why is this a problem now? 9 wins in a row. You've been extremely supportive of the run game, literally saying after the Ravens game, hey, I told Saquon Barkley, you got to put your cape on. Go put your cape on. Can you put your cape on? Thank you. You finally put your cape on. And then this past week talking about how much Jalen's improved and talking about how much he doesn't care about the receptions or the targets, and he's just happy that the team is winning. Okay. Now when it comes to the overall passing game frustration, Nick Sirianni said this.
It's no secret that we weren't up to our standard in that area yesterday. And so it's just going back to work. What I do know when guys, I love that guys care, and they care about how they perform. They care about us meeting our standard. And that just leads into getting better. And so, my only thought is on that is, hey, we're going to get to work today, which we already did, and watch the tape with them and make the corrections and be critical with ourselves as coaches and how we can put them in better situations, how we can do different stuff to help out, and everybody doing their part. And so it's just an opportunity for you to grow and to get better. And that's what anytime you step on the field is an opportunity for that.
That's nice. And I agree. That's a beautiful thing. Anytime you step on the field, absolutely opportunity to improve. When it comes to how this team starts out games, they need to improve drastically. For the life of me, and I think it's such an indictment, more so on coaching than it is on execution. You have a situation where throughout this entire season, the work you did during the week, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, just to name the people that are actually most in charge of the offense. Kellen Moore is supposed to be in charge of the offense. Not one time did you accurately predict based on all your preparation, research, scouting, all that. Not one time this season, albeit with an 11-2 football team, not one time did all that prep in the week leading up to the game work out perfectly. And not even perfect where it was like, oh, Jalen's 7 for 7 on this drive. And Saquon Barkley is averaging 6 yards per carry on 3 carries on this drive. This is amazing. No. Not one time did all your preparation get results. Like, not one opening drive this season resulted in a touchdown. Not one opening drive this season resulted in a touchdown. That's where your fingerprints are most on the game plan. And it hasn't worked ever. This team is a better adjuster than it is a preparer. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how good I love the idea. Like, we used to rip Andy Reid in this city all the time. We used to rip Andy Reid for like, Andy's great at preparation. That's why he's so great after a bye. Andy's great after when it comes into preparation. And then it was like, you know what hits the fan, and Andy's like, duh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, the preparation was the great part. The adjustments were non-existent. This is the complete opposite of that. And to Saquon Barkley's point Sunday in the locker room when he said, well, a lot of people were going to rip us for not starting strong, but would you rather us not finish strong? Because then the narrative becomes, this team starts out hot, but they can't hold on to win. I'd rather have the team that finishes strong. Because the team that finishes strong could be 11-2. The team that starts strong could be 2-11. So I agree with what Saquon had to say. But as far as the coaching aspect of this, I can't remember a time I've seen anything like this. I remember in the Doug Peterson era, there were times where the offense certainly struggled to score in the first quarter. But not like this. Not like where you've gone 13 weeks and you haven't scored an opening drive touchdown. That is bananas, man. Absolutely bananas. So they need to get, obviously, on the same page with all that. And the passing game is going to have a huge part of that. He topped off the answer with a vote of confidence for Jalen Hurts.
And I know the question is coming about Jalen. Make no mistake about it, we've won 9 games in a row, and Jalen Hurts is a big reason why we've won 9 games in a row.
Okay, good. All right, there's your vote of confidence for Jalen Hurts. By the way, for the record, the question never came about Jalen Hurts. I guess that's because he cut it off. He nipped it in the bud. Is that nipped it in the bud? Yeah. So that was your boy Nick Sirianni yesterday. let's get into the film breakdown. So yesterday, took some time and went back and watched mostly the offensive plays. One thing I did notice defensively was Quenyon Mitchell in the first quarter. It was the Zach Bond sack. Adam Thielen was giving Cooper to Gene Fitz. There was one play, and I thought this was great because it shows the level of respect, I think, for a veteran wide receiver for two young corners. Now, again, he had some really good plays against Cooper to Gene, and on a couple of them took Cooper to Gene to school, Adam Thielen. There was one play I saw in the Zach Bond sack, watching the All-22, where Quenyon Mitchell lined up on Thielen. And Thielen threw him around a little bit, got open on a dig route, and just as he was breaking, and he had a good, I'd say 3 to 5 yards of space created off his dig, off his move. He kind of faked to the outside and then cut it back in. That would have maybe been a touchdown. He might have been gone to the house. And just at that moment, when he went to plant that foot, Zach Bond takes down Bryce Young. And Adam Thielen looks into the backfield, sees the sack, and just like you could see it, he jumps up and down like he knew he would have had been able to break one. And he turns around and he looks on Quenyon Mitchell, and it just he points at him. And I have no doubt in my mind he must have said something like, you're lucky. You're so lucky on that. But just to show that it would have meant something to him to be able to beat a rookie like that and also teach him a lesson. You could tell there was a little bit more extra added emphasis to beating a rookie and guys that haven't had that welcome to the moment yet in the NFL. Welcome to the NFL moment yet. So I thought that was kind of cool. But mostly I was paying attention to what the offense had going on. So let's talk about the All-22 and what it showed me. So the first play of the game, A.J. Brown didn't look so good. First play of the game, they run the read option. Saquon Barkley gets the run up the middle, and he bounces it to the outside. Now, A.J. Brown from jump knows that he's blocking on this. He was never going out for a route. He goes up to square up with the defensive back. Now, here's what's crazy about it. Guess who made the tackle on Saquon Barkley? Yeah, that's right. The guy that A.J. was supposed to be blocking. So, not good. Not good, AJ. He doesn't finish the block. He's playing patty cake with him. Saquon runs up. The guy's able to shed the block, and he gets right on Saquon Barkley and brings him down. First play of the game. If A.J. Brown holds that block, first play of the game, touchdown. No doubt. Touchdown. So then, second play of the game. Now Saquon Barkley still got the first down. I think it was an 11 or 12-yard gain on that first play. So you've already got the first down. You're starting to move the football, baby. You're starting to move the football. Now you got a 1st and 10 for the second play of the game. The infamous A.J. Brown was wide open down the field. When I'm watching the game on TV and looking at social media, I see a couple of reporters put it out there. I think A.J. was open downfield. I think Jalen Hurts had A.J. downfield. Let me confirm. Jalen Hurts had A.J. Brown wide open down the field. Here's the way it was set up. Another zone read play. Smitty and A.J. are lined up to Jalen Hurts' right. Dotson goes in motion from left to right. At the snap, Jalen has the ball in the belly of Saquon Barkley. On this play, he's already looking at the man that was in motion, Jahan Dotson, wide open in the flat. There's nobody within 10 yards of Jahan Dotson. So here's where you go to scanning the field. Jalen Hurts sees that he's got a guy checked down, wide open, no problem. He does a great job pulling the ball back, getting his eyes downfield. He looks downfield. I assume for A.J. Brown, it's the only receiver in the area, and he's got him. It seemed like it was slow developing for A.J., but it looked like their timing was what it's been all year. So Jalen Hurts sits back. He's got all the time in the world, looks downfield, and here's what I noticed. A.J.'s wide open. The second A.J. breaks to the outside on the route to go towards the sideline, Jalen checks down. I'm talking about in unison, like they're synchronized swimmers. Jalen Hurts has a football in his hands. He's looking downfield. He sees, I assume he sees A.J., and as soon as he looked down to Jahan Dotson, A.J. breaks out for the route. Now, I would hope that Jalen Hurts knows that A.J. is going to run that route, and he can hit him in stride. But instead, he checks it down. So what the hell happened on the play? Did Jalen Hurts just made a make a blatant mistake, or did something else happen? So all 22, if you haven't watched it, gives you the high view from the sideline, so you see the whole field, all 22 players. Then it gives you the high end zone cam. And I'm watching Jalen Hurts, and I'm watching him look downfield, and then I look at what's in front of him. I don't know if it was obstructing his view or not. There were 4 players in that passing sight line. So I don't know if that was in his way or not, but I'm watching this play develop, and it's perfect timing when A.J. Brown goes to break to the outside. Jalen is already, boom, checking down to Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson gets the gain. So I don't know if this was just Jalen being extra cautious. He had all the time in the world. Ended up being I think it was a 6-yard gain for Jahan Dotson. So I think he saw A.J. open, and then I think he didn't know if there was another safety over the top, and he didn't make the play. The play was there to be made. My official ruling on this, though, is that A.J. Brown is not guilty of being frustrated. He's not the problem. On this particular play, I put it on Jalen Hurts. You got to know that A.J. is going to be right there. You've worked on the route in practice. You've worked together for a long enough time. You got to put that ball where it's supposed to be. That's why you practice. A lot of times you won't see where the receiver is, but you know where he's supposed to be. And if you recognize the fact that you only have that single high safety at this point, the corner's playing down, AJ's between the two of them, maybe I'd say at least 8 yards of space between the two of them, Jalen at least has to see that and put that ball out there because it's not a dangerous throw, especially if you're going to be throwing to the sideline. I'm not saying he had to put a perfect ball on A.J. Brown and lead him enough to the point where he would have gotten a touchdown, but you got to put the ball out there enough to where he can at least make the catch and get out of bounds. And instead, Jalen, I don't know if he was going super cautious or not, just decided to check it down. The other thing that I was thinking about in this play is it's not even super cautious as much as it's, all right, I'm playing the Panthers. Why am I going to risk it if I don't know if that safety is going to close that gap in time? Why am I going to risk it when I got a wide open play right here to Jahan Dotson and we can keep this drive going maybe? So this particular play, I put it on Jalen more than I put it on A.J. Brown. The play was there to be made. He didn't make the play. Jalen's first sack was a 1st and 10. Jewell actually gets him untouched through the middle of the line of scrimmage. AJ's open again on this play. The only reason I bring it up because it could be another frustrated moment for A.J. Brown where, again, he beats his guy one-on-one and he turns around, the ball's not there. But no time to get in the ball. Nobody knew what was happening on this play. It looked like a complete breakdown. I was like, should I blame the offensive line? Should I blame Jalen? Should I blame coverage? No, it wasn't the coverage. The defensive line just got right. Well, Jewell got right on him. So nothing happened there. Then there was a couple of plays that looked out of sync with Smitty. One was a 2nd and 6 in the first quarter. Jalen runs the zone read, looks to Smitty pre-snap. And I thought this was interesting. He looks to Smitty pre-snap. He's in the shotgun. Smitty's lined up to his right, and he kind of signals to Devontae Smith. They actually running some kind of hot route here? What's going on here? Jalen drops back. Looks like he originally wanted to throw it, and then he just tucks and runs. He tucks, runs, goes into the slide, and when he gets up from the slide, Devontae Smith is already over to him, and it looked like they had something going on, and Devontae pointed something to the backfield, and Jalen pointed at something at him, and I'm like, oh, there's two guys being completely out of sync. Nobody knows what page they're on. That's interesting. That was 2nd and 6 in the first quarter. I thought it was interesting that the two addressed each other immediately after what looked like a broken play. Upon just watching it in the game, it just looked like a designed quarterback draw. The all-22 told a different story, and as we know, the tape don't lie. Something was amiss. Then Smitty gets his touchdown. The Panthers were able to score their touchdown. They make it 10-7. Then there's the 3-and-out that supposedly led to A.J. Brown's frustration. 1st and 10 on that drive. Saquon Barkley gets 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Hurts wants to go to A.J. Brown, who was, again, wide open on a dig route to the right of Jalen Hurts. Hurts draws back on this play, but the minute he put his arm back to go to A.J. Brown, Jewell jumps up in the passing lane, and there's no way Jalen's throwing that football. He tried it, I think, earlier in the game. It got batted, and that's always a very dangerous thing. Sometimes it comes down in your hands like it did for the Panthers late in this game. Sometimes it comes up as an interception. So Jalen made the right play. The minute his arm went back, Jewell goes up in the air. He doesn't throw the football. He tucks, runs to the outside. And then even on that broken play where Jalen Hurts ended up throwing the football away to avoid the sack, AJ cuts the opposite way that Jalen Hurts was running. So Jalen's running to his left. AJ is lined up right on the left hash mark. And instead of running with the quarterback, he goes and takes a step in to go around the defender and try to cut up field. Cutting up field is the right decision to make, but you want to make sure you're cutting in the direction of the quarterback. AJ doesn't do that. I thought Jalen made the right play on that. He didn't hold the ball too long. He wanted to go right to AJ. Jewel made a good defensive play. Jalen tried to go around it, and then from there it was just a broken play, and all that could result on that 2nd and 7 was Jalen Hurts throwing the football away. 3rd and 7, no excuse. Jalen Hurts made a horrible throw. There's no other way to look at it. And here's what really sucks. This is where he overthrew Johnny Wilson, who, by the way, is 6'6". He overthrows Johnny Wilson on this play. AJ runs a go route. I don't think the play was ever there for him. It was stride for stride with the defensive back. Panthers actually rush 6 on this play, the 3rd and 7 to Johnny Wilson. Jalen stands tall in the pocket. The offensive line and actually Saquon Barkley do a great job of picking up the blitz. Jalen stands in the pocket like a statue, has time to throw the football, has time to throw a strike, and he sails it to Johnny Wilson. I've heard people say Johnny Wilson jumped too soon. Hogwash and poppycock, okay? Jalen made a horrible throw. The end of story. Guilty, Jalen Hurts for a horrible throw. 3rd and 7 was the one that happened on. Then they give the ball back after the 3 and out. Supposedly, A.J. Brown walks off the sideline at this point, slams his helmet. The camera catches A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the sideline talking. They flash over to Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is just there. Stone face. Okay. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson then comes up with the interception. Offense is back on the field. I made this mistake yesterday. Let me correct it. The first play was not to A.J. Brown. The first play was to Kenny Gainwell over the middle of the field. He gets a nice little reception for himself. And then the next play was A.J. Brown's first target and A.J. Brown's first reception for 10 yards. Second play of the drive. 2nd and 7, A.J. makes that catch for the first down. Then later what ends up happening is the touchdown to Devontae Smith. Now this is what I find bananas. AJ was wide open on the play. He was the most open receiver on the field. Devontae Smith was also open on the play, but a much harder throw for Jalen Hurts to make. You have trips left for Jalen Hurts. AJ's the outside guy. Devontae's the inside guy. Devontae's running that out route. AJ Brown's running the slant. So if you're a quarterback, you want to be able to throw the guys closer to you, shorter throw, less chance of error. Instead, this is what the All-22 showed me. And I didn't notice this during the game because he's kind of looking in the same direction. But Jalen looked at AJ. Even a glance at AJ, he's wide open, touchdown. I don't know if, and I made this argument yesterday or presented the theory yesterday, I don't know if it was just, hey, this is Devontae Smith's first game back in 2 weeks. Let me get him a tutty. But Jalen drops back, looks over to his left. There's guys maybe in the line of sight. I didn't think so, but it looked like he had the passing lane. And I swear, it looked like he was looking at AJ, and then you see him kind of turn a little bit more, and then he throws to Devontae Smith for the touchdown. I watched AJ Brown's reaction. Now, he got clipped, by the way, in the end zone. He ended up getting hit on the touchdown. He didn't get up and look like he was fee-fi-fo-fumming. He didn't get up and look like he was pissed. But was he open? Sure. You had 2 open receivers on him. He didn't hit you. So if you're upset about that, sorry about your luck. So Jalen still made a good play. Are we going to piss and moan that he didn't hit the guy other people wanted him to hit? Like, this is like, he didn't hit him because he's on my fantasy team. Okay, sure. Jalen still made a good play. Was it the best play? It didn't look like it to me. It looked like the easier play was to A.J. Brown. It looked like A.J. Brown was read 1, read 2 is Devontae Smith, and he went to Devontae Smith. Either way, the Eagles scored a touchdown, so I'm not too mad about it. Fast forward to the Grant Calcaterra touchdown, and I got into this one a little bit yesterday. This was a perfect example of a passing lane being taken away. So what was wild to me was that both Mailata and Dickerson got pushed into the line of sight for A.J. Brown. Because A.J. Brown, again, is open on this play. Jalen Hurts did a good job. His first look was to A.J. Brown. Lane, the passing lane that gets taken away. Again, both Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson are being pushed in from the left side of the line of scrimmage, exactly where Jalen Hurts wants to go. Now, a lot of times, and a lot of people don't realize this, and not to mansplain it to some people, but a lot of times what happens is you're not throwing over the offensive line. A lot of times you're throwing through the offensive line. So you want that passing lane to be open so you could go right through. I've heard some quarterbacks refer to it as the wall. You're not throwing through the wall. Sometimes you can throw over it, but you can't throw through it. So if there's guys right there that can either bat the ball down, you're going to throw it in the back of your offensive lineman's head, you don't want to make that throw. So it also takes away the line of sight. So maybe he doesn't know that he has A.J. Brown open on that slant route on the Calcaterra touchdown later in the game in the start of the fourth quarter. So Jalen drops back, doesn't have the passing lane, whips the head back to the middle of the field where he knows he's got Grant Calcaterra, bang, hits Grant Calcaterra, touchdown. He went through his progressions fine on that. I have no issue with that. Was AJ open in the end zone again? Absolutely. But Jalen Hurts did a good job in the red zone and making a good read, realizing he didn't have wide receiver one or receiver one, and then progressed to what probably was his second. That's what the way it looked. He went 1, 2, boom, touchdown. That made it 22-16. Now, for the life of me, I can't understand the 9-yard sack Jalen Hurts took in the fourth quarter. I can't understand it for a second. First down, fourth quarter. Hurts starts the drive. Nice slant pass to A.J. Brown to get things going. Later, they ended up getting the tush-push first down. They ended up getting a couple yards on that. Then after the tush-push, there's a 1st and 10 from the 50, and Hurts takes that 9-yard sack. He appeared to have Brown open again. Let me say this. He did have Brown open again, but the offensive line, I don't get it. He rolls back to his right. He gets out of the pocket and kind of goes into a slide to eat the sack. I don't think he's in danger of throwing it of intentional grounding. If he just bombs the ball over someone's head downfield, he can get away with it, or throw it even more closer to the sideline, get it to the line of scrimmage. I don't understand what the hell he was thinking on that play. It sets up a 3rd and 13. Carolina rushes 6. Hurts stays in the pocket again. O-line picks up the blitz. Hurts delivers a perfect strike to Brown on a comeback route, and they convert the first down. This is a play that I really wish people would talk about, because it kept a drive going instead of just flipping the ball right back to the Panthers. It wasn't on the same level, unfortunately, because they didn't score a touchdown on this drive. It wasn't on the same level as the Hurts 3rd and 7 to Dallas Goedert against the Ravens, where after that play, they didn't face another second down. They ran 3 more plays. One of them was a Jalen Hurts scramble or Jalen Hurts draw, and then it ended with a 25-yard touchdown run by Saquon Barkley against the Ravens. So it wasn't on the same level because he didn't get a touchdown, but it's still a clutch throw. 3rd and 13. Carolina again rushes 6. The offensive line, and I think it was Saquon again, do a great job of picking up the blitz. Hurts stands tall in the pocket, delivers a perfect strike to A.J. Brown on the comeback route for the first down. They get a 15-yard gain on it, so they get another set of downs, and they move the football, kill a little bit more clock. Then on the 2nd and 13, on the next possession, after a penalty, it knocked him back to 2nd and 13. Hurts incomplete to Devontae Smith, and it looked like he scanned the field. He went through his progressions, saw 3 different head movements there. Smitty was his 3rd look. The ball came out late. It was another comeback route down the near sideline, the left side of the field to Jalen Hurts. Chance for Smitty to make a clean play was next to non-existent. Could he have blocked out the defensive back? Maybe, but it just didn't look like that play was meant to be. Slow developing, 3rd read on it, and the DB ended up coming back and breaking the play. So when I look at these, I look at the first play of the game, A.J. Brown needs to hold his block. He holds his block. Saquon Barkley scores a touchdown. His guy's the guy that ended up making the tackle. Second play of the game, Jalen, you got to know where AJ is on the field. again, there's 4 bodies in front of him in his line of sight, but that plays far enough down the field where Jalen Hurts needs to make the right read. He's got to know he's got one safety over the top and that you have A.J. Brown breaking to the outside. You drop that ball in there. Is it a touchdown? Possibly. Is it a gain of 30 yards? Definitely. Maybe even 40 yards. But I think A.J. ran a great route on that, and that Jalen just missed the opportunity for a big play. What went into the thinking? I don't know. All I know is there was a much better play to be made. Jalen's first sack, I absolve him of this completely because the pressure was on him almost immediately. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. AJ was wide open, but there was no way to get the ball to him because the ball was in his hands, and then he was sacked. The out-of-sync play with Smitty, I'd love to know more about. It looked like somebody made a big mistake on that. The fact that they addressed each other the second it was over was interesting. Then yet again, the Smitty touchdown, the Panthers scored their touchdown, make it 10-7. The 3-and-out that led to AJ's frustration. Hurts wants to go to Brown. Jewell made a great play of getting up in that passing lane. And he had to throw it away. So there was a good play by Jalen Hurts to not throw that football. And then Jalen Hurts, 100% his fault on overthrowing Johnny Wilson. Again, 6'6" Johnny Wilson. So I put the blame on Hurts for that. The A.J. Brown not getting the touchdown and instead that going to Devontae Smith, I don't have as big an issue. Was there an easy play to make? Was there an easier play to be made? Certainly. The quarterback threw a touchdown. I ain't going to rip him for it. The Grant Calcaterra touchdown was a great play by Jalen Hurts. Had guys collapsing on him, adjusted his sight line, made the right read, hit Grant Calcaterra perfectly, touchdown. Not mad at Jalen Hurts at all for that one. The sack and 9-yard loss still baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. And when it comes to Jalen, on that 2nd and 13 to Devontae Smith, the one that ended up being broken up, that's where I think, hey, yeah, he went through his progressions. Maybe he goes through his progressions faster. You get that completion, you get that first down, you keep the drive going. So a lot of these, I look at A.J. Brown, I look at Jalen Hurts, and I look at Devontae Smith. And when I look at all three of these things, in the offensive line, I look at all three of these things, I come back to maybe A.J. Brown isn't just talking about Jalen Hurts. Maybe A.J. Brown is talking about coaching and play calling. Now, here's what I believe. And that's just a maybe, because here's what I believe. I believe that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are still friends, despite anything else. And I don't think that A.J. Brown wants to say Jalen Hurts. What's holding you back? What needs to be worked on offensively for this offense to be better? Passing is the way you answer that question. I don't think he's going to say the quarterback. I don't think he's going to say Jalen. Jalen needs to go through his progressions faster. And then I think the follow-up question from fans would be, well, wait a minute, he goes through his progressions? Hey, it's a step up to go through your progressions faster than he doesn't go through his progressions at all. So I do think that A.J. Brown is looking at Jalen Hurts more so than he's looking at coaching. And I think if it was the case, if it was coaching was the case, he would have said it. I don't think he would have just said passing. And I don't think, as sure as anything, I don't think that he's going to be like, oh, Jalen's having a big problem. We need to get Jalen right. I don't think he's going to go there. So that's what I got out of watching the All-22 yesterday. If you have the access to it, I highly recommend going back and looking at those plays that we just highlighted. Now, here's my issue. Here again was A.J. Brown. I'm only going to play a little bit of this, but this is the video from Elliott Shore-Parks at the locker Sunday after the Eagles won.
Offense wasn't fit enough. What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm, and Devontae was acknowledging that. You know, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough.
It seemed like there was a moment on the sideline when you threw your helmet into the bench. What prompted that reaction?
3-and-out.
Okay, so he's upset. Now, here's my issue. I have no doubt that Jalen Hurts left plays on the field, and I just highlighted some of them for you. He left plays on the field. Let's get that. Let's just acknowledge it. But there was so much that went wrong. It's not just a Jalen Hurts problem. He's right. It's a passing problem. Nick Sirianni was asked the question yesterday about whether or not running the ball so much has deteriorated the passing ability of the quarterback and just the passing game in general. No, was his answer, as you would assume. But too much of anything, even a good thing, could be a bad thing. And although I don't want the Eagles to all of a sudden shift back, and I can't believe this, but am I actually living in a world now where I feel like the Eagles are ignoring the passing game the way they once did the run game? I hope not, because I don't want to ignore A.J. Brown. I don't want to ignore Devontae Smith. I want those guys to be catching footballs because those guys are what you call playmakers, and they're making a lot of money. And you know who else is making a lot of money? The guy slinging it to them. So yeah, I don't want the passing game to go away. Now, here's my issue. Aside from all that, is why did A.J. Brown even talk to the media? Did a media member just say that? Oh, you always have to talk. Yeah, you're damn right you do. I love everybody talking. However, you guys, the fans and citizens of Philadelphia, you guys don't get to have a parade over a press conference. You guys don't have a parade over something somebody said at a locker room media session. Okay? You guys don't get it. What I overall root for isn't the juicier, sexy story. What I ultimately root for is that you guys get a party, is that we get to be on the Art Museum steps. We get to be going down Broad Street. We get to be going over Market Street. We get to be going down JFK. We get to be going down the Parkway and to the Art Museum. And then we get to have our big party for the city where the entire city of Philadelphia is together and never more brotherly and brotherly love than on days where we get to have parades. And in my lifetime, I've been able to enjoy 2 of them. That's it. I want you guys to have the party. I want the city of Philadelphia to have a party. That's ultimately what I root for. So when A.J. Brown's at his locker and he's offering critiques, harsh critiques, that's not productive. That only leads to distraction. And then it compounds. Another player talks about it. Brandon Graham goes on the radio and he talks about it. As we referenced earlier, goes on WIP with Spike and Howard yesterday. Oh, maybe they're not friends, or they're not friends anymore. And then we see the story from Tim McManus about how, maybe they are. They're still friends. BG tried to clarify it. Tim McManus, in case you're just joining us, says that Brandon Graham told him, I just assumed about their friendship, and I made it out to look even worse because I had it all wrong. Now people are going to run with it. Yeah, they are going to run with it, unfortunately. But I wish A.J. Brown would have taken his own advice. So I went back to one of the things that really jumped out at me. And last year, when he wasn't addressing the media, I said he's probably got nothing nice to say, so he's not going to say anything. And literally, I made a bingo card before we knew he was going to address the media in a 13-minute press conference. And one of the first things he said when he was asked about, hey, why haven't you been talking? This is A.J. Brown almost a year ago.
The reason why I didn't speak to the media after the game because, I didn't want to be negative, I had already transitioned to the mindset where we were going through a tough time. And so me personally, the person I am, who just know I just have to go back to work, and ain't nothing I could do about it, and like I said after the game, I said I was raised. If I had nothing nice to say, I'm not going to say nothing at all. So I'm not just about to continue to compound the negative with the negative.
AJ, how refreshing. He used the old thumper mentality there. Huh? You don't have nothing nice to say, you don't say it at all. And that was my theory as to why he wasn't talking. And it turns out that's exactly why he wasn't talking. So last year, he makes those comments. It was after they lost to the Arizona Cardinals. He addressed the media. They had the December 31st game. And then they played again on January 7th. So that week is when he finally addressed the media. At that point, the Eagles were 1-4 in their last 5 games. Things were spiraling out of control. You were losing the number 1 seed. All of a sudden, you were losing to the division. Things were going to hell in a handbasket. And A.J. Brown then decided to talk. So here's my issue now. I get not talking for a minute because you got nothing nice to say. Good for you, A.J. Brown. I said the entire time. While other people were speculating on what he would say and putting words in that man's mouth, I was telling you, no. This is a good thing. This actually shows leadership and maturity. He's trying not to be that prima donna and make it all about him. So, again, 1-4 last year at the time he made those comments in their last 5 games. It was after the Arizona loss. So this year, he makes the comments. In a year where he's missed 3 games, he's still one of the leading wide receivers in the NFL. He's still on pace for another 1,000-yard season. Only 5 players in the NFL, only 5 players have a better yards per reception average than his 17.4. Only 5 players have a better yards per reception than A.J. Brown. Oh, they also just played the worst run defense team in the entire NFL. So, yeah, they're going to run the football against the Panthers. And A.J. Brown also picked a moment where his team just won their 9th game in a row and improved to 11-2. And he now wants to offer critiques about the passing game? Take your own advice, A.J. Brown.
The reason why I didn't speak to the media after the game because, I didn't want to be negative,
So now, after winning 9 in a row, now you want to be negative. I get after 1-4. You're like, maybe I shouldn't say anything. I get after 3 straight losses, like, maybe I shouldn't say anything. He didn't even talk after they beat the Giants in a game that was a half Tommy DeVito game. He didn't even want to talk then. But now, 9-0 in your last 9 games, matching a franchise record. Your running back sets a franchise record, and AJ wants to talk. Bad form, AJ. I love the guy. I've defended him more than anybody. And yesterday was the first day I ever talked about A.J. Brown in any light of prima donna or whatever. Wildly immature. To, at that moment, air the dirty laundry. Even if he would have said, hey, offensively, as a team, as a wide receiver and a quarterback, out of sync. That's the perfect way to describe it. I saw somebody in the comments say, so what is it? It's the entire passing game. It's everything. Look, it's ultimately going to fall on the quarterback, and you hear passing, you immediately just go right to Jalen Hurts. But a lot of this has gone to they've certainly been using Saquon Barkley a hell of a lot. I would like to see these wide receivers develop that rhythm again with their quarterback. I'd like the quarterback to develop this rhythm with his wide receivers, because if Jalen Hurts, 2 things. If A.J. Brown holds his block for Saquon Barkley, that's a first play touchdown. Forget about an opening drive touchdown. That's 1 play touchdown. Saquon Barkley scores if on a 70-yard run if A.J. Brown holds his block. He didn't. If Jalen Hurts makes the throw to A.J. Brown on the second play of the game on that deep ball, it's probably a touchdown. At worst, like I said, it's a 30, 40-yard gain, and A.J. runs out of bounds. So a lot of things look out of sync. The one that really jumps out to me has nothing to do with A.J. Brown. The one that really jumps out to me is the 2nd and 6 run up the middle by Jalen Hurts, where he clearly was signaling to Devontae Smith, and then Devontae Smith comes walking over to him in the first quarter, and I was like, what was that? And then Jalen points at something like, yeah, something's amiss. So offensively speaking, I never thought I'd say this. Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, don't forget about the passing game. Don't abandon the pass. Because you're going to need that. You're still going to need it. I got confidence Jalen Hurts can do it. I got confidence Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, they can figure it out. They can do it. They have the best offensive line in football, in my opinion, in front of them. They're going to have time to develop this. If you make the argument, and I know, again, Nick Sirianni was asked the question yesterday, have they been too reliant on the run at the detriment of the pass? I think so. But I mean, you got it working. You also got to keep this offense clicking on all cylinders. The Lions seem to be able to go run, pass, like keeping it very balanced. And they seem to be able to go back and forth doing that rather well. The Eagles seem to be, all right, time to just dominate with the run, and that'll get us going. Jalen Hurts has made clutch throws this year. The 3rd and 7 you can point to again with Dallas got it against the Ravens. Hell, the 3rd and 13 to A.J. Brown in this game was a clutch throw. Then he's made some horrible decisions and made some bad passes. All in all, the fact that he's kicked the turnover bug, maybe that's in his head as well, where he doesn't want to go back to doing that. He doesn't want to take any risks. Every once in a while, you got to take a risk. I remember we talked about Donovan McNabb a lot in that regard. Yeah, he doesn't throw interceptions, but he also doesn't really take risks. That was a big thing early in Donovan's career. I'd hate for that to rear its ugly head again. But overall, do the Eagles have a passing game problem? Yes, they absolutely do. Is that all on Jalen Hurts? Absolutely not. When everything's out of sync, that's not all on the quarterback. That's also coaching. So, yeah. Maybe when A.J. Brown said passing, he meant passing. Everything involved. Wish he would have handled that better. I wish he didn't say anything. Because now you have a 9-0 football team in the last 9 games. Now you have a first-place football team. You have a team that's competing to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. You have a running back that's looking to set an all-time record after setting the franchise record for yards in a season, rushing yards in a season. And we're talking about A.J. Brown, where he should have taken his own advice, where if he didn't have anything nice to say, he shouldn't have said it at all. And if he didn't want to be negative, he shouldn't have been negative. It's insane to me. And this isn't media speculation. This is a player literally voicing a frustration. After their 9th straight win, a franchise record, still being one of the leading wide receivers in the NFL, despite missing 3 games, and still being on pace for another 1,000-yard season. Almost 1,100-yard season, actually. Boo freaking hoo-hoo. Hey, let me tell you about the great people at the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Yeah, that's right. Want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARZI, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Let's not forget about the last-minute ticket deals, the flash ticket deals. They even have ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So you know what that means? That means you're going to get mega savings. You might miss the opening act. You might miss the middle. But you know what? You're going to see that headliner that you love so much at a great discounted rate on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app. And don't forget about Game Time Picks, which allows you to filter out all the fluff and get right down to the best seats at the best prices when you toggle the Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app. Also, the all-in pricing feature allows you to see exactly what you're going to pay before you check out. So there's no sticker shock. Oh, wait, how do these $20 tickets become $30? Nope. Not when you toggle the all-in pricing feature. So download the Game Time app the next time you want to go to a concert, a comedy show, or a sporting event. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARZI, F-A-R-Z-Y, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about our friends at Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's get into the chat check today. See how you guys are feeling about this fine Tuesday morning. Wine Niners Wine. Good morning. Sean Gillespie, good morning. April, good morning. Avery, let's go. What's up, Avery? Avery Strauss, is there an annoying... Wait, this is an annoying day, though. Can't we just get our crap together? I think it was our friend Ari out in St. Louis, our Eagles fan out there, that texted me something or tweeted me something along the lines of, this is why we can't have nice things. And it was the Brandon Graham interview. Why can't anything be easy, says Sean Gillespie. Mr. Sandman, what's up, DJ? Farsmania, thank you. Happy Hughes Day. Mutter Truckers, what's going on? Passing game synced up against the Steelers. P.S. The defense has to remember to wrap up when they tackle. Yeah, that was a problem. I think was it Josh Sweat in the end zone that should have had the safety on Bryce Young before their near loss experience, Eagles near loss experience. How is it that everyone has an opinion when they don't even know what the play call was? Well, because you can look at the film and look where the quarterback's looking. So that's the problem. It did look to me that A.J. Brown on the first touchdown that went to Devontae Smith was the first read. And for whatever reason, Jalen just went with Devontae. Oh, the T.O. McNabb thing with those guys beefing again, whatever. I got problems right now. All right. I don't need to rehash problems from, good God, 20 years ago. Wow. Holy Stromboli. What am my first assignment when I was a little kid, well, 22 years old, fresh at WIP, I got sent to T.O.'s house the second day of the circus, and I was there all day. He went out and shot hoops the day I was there, and he was challenging people. He's like, I'll play you for your check. And I was like, I'm an intern. I'm not going to make any money. So I was like, I'll play it for my check. So he like literally bounce passes me the ball, and I grab it. I'm like, I'm about to play T.O. one-on-one. This is pretty cool. And then Jason Martinez, who I love dearly, goes, he's an intern. I'm like, shut up, Jason. This is about to be amazing. And he's like, oh, forget it. Give me that ball back. I'm like, oh, man, come on. Anyway. But yeah, I don't need to rehash all that. Just my fine memory. From now on, I want to see the Cowboys games in Simpsons format. Cowboys lost. That's a shame. Andrew S. The BG. Thanks, BG, for opening up the drama even more. Sirianni also can't handle the locker room. Get Belichick in here? No, thanks. April, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Like I said, if all of a sudden I'm not doing a show one morning, I'll make sure I at least get up a graphic of, just so you guys know, hey, no show today. Have a great day. But yeah, just got some stuff going on. Mom and dad are good. Kids are good. Wife's good. In-laws are good. Just got something going on that could worsen in the coming days. So I'll just keep you guys abreast. Sean Kilrain, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm awake. Are you? Appreciate that. Sean, again, thank you. Thank you, Devontae. Deontay. Thank you. Real friends don't get along all the time. Right. Exactly. Think of some of your best bouts in life. It's with family, man. And then hopefully if you do it right, you still love them. Jason A., good morning. Drama this year is ridiculous. AJ got exposed, says I'm awake. Sean Gillespie, thank you. T-Bro, thank you. DJ, Mr. Sandman, what's going on? I've been listening to Philly Sports Talk Radio and TV since 1990. It's always been the same story. Cunningham, McNabb, Hurts, can't read defenses. Apparently, Bobby Hoying. Okay. Just know that doesn't even factor into my mind when I look at Jalen Hurts. That's not on my radar. Not on my radar. I'm not saying it doesn't for other people. That's their deal. Not mine. Not mine. Watching a quarterback who I hope is here for 10 years, if not longer, play the quarterback position, and I hope he plays at the highest level. Grady Goldsmith, what's going on? None of my business, but I pray for their relationship. It's not tainted over oh, God. All right, let's not even go there. Oh, I've heard too many of those rumors over the years about so many different athletes. Well, you know what's happening, right? I talked to my cousin whose friend's a nurse and was at the hospital, who said they brought in someone who was there when this player talked to this player's wife's cousin, but it wasn't it was actually the player's wife. Seems credible. Let's run with it. Jay Dilla, what's going on? I don't know. Maybe you're Spanish. Jay Dilla. AJ needs to shut the bleep up. They're winning. I agree. Smitty and AJ know they're stuck with her. I see stuck with the next 3 years. No bonuses for touchdowns, receptions, and yards. If it's written into the contract, like I don't even think Saquon Barkley has a touchdown incentive in his contract. I just heard that recently. WIP is corrupted, BG. That's funny. Theo, every OC comes here to dumb down their offense to RPO, tush push, go balls, and QB option. Remember that time they went to a Super Bowl using that? Hey, remember the time they won a Super Bowl using that with Nick Foles? I ain't got nothing against it. James Alexander, what's going on? K. Raleigh, what's going on? AJ is going to disrespect, is getting disrespected? Is that what you mean? That's why it's a problem. AJ got 4 targets. You should be getting 10. I agree. You should get more. I'm not trading AJ Brown. I see that. Didn't AJ set a record for the last game after he ran his mouth? If you're talking about last year, no, they lost to the Giants. Because he talked after the Cardinals loss. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Really, Theo, 47 years a fan, never seen such overhype on a quarterback? I mean, it's not unjustified. I mean, the guy has been, in the last 2 seasons, not including this one, because Saquon and Josh Allen are kind of running away with it. But you're talking about a guy, like Hurts is what, 4th MVP odds right now? Like, that's bonkers to me. Hold on, I can pull that up in a second. Let me do that right now. I don't know. I don't get it. Look, I'm not that Nick Foles was Jalen Hurts in terms of production and expectations, but man, I remember Nick Foles being terrible leading into the playoffs. Like Nate Sudfeld playing in the playoffs was a conversation. Like I never know what to believe and put credit in. But hey, people have their opinions. But yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is going to get back to great quarterback status. And people are talking about this game that he sucked in where he had 3 touchdowns. The majority of them were passing. 2 of them passing, 1 on the ground. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8th. Excuse me, tied for 7th. Tied for 7th in MVP now. In odds for Jalen Hurts. That's on Parks. 442 Vert. What do you expect? Hurts can read a D? Hasn't been able to do that at any level. Literally did it. All 22 exposes Hurts. Yeah, there's things that you can certainly blame him for in this game. There's other things where he made the smart play in this game. I don't see, for the record, I don't see this. I'm awake or you. I don't see this as being a T.O. and McNabb thing over again. The Bull RJ, what's up? Saquon, historic season, and all I could hear is crying, right? What good decision to not go to AJ? If this is the play I'm thinking of, you might be thinking that he leads AJ into danger with a safety over the top on that first touchdown to Devontae. Oh, no, I mentioned that. Cooper DeJean versus Adam Thielen. Thielen had his way. Jake Elliott, yeah. 1 game I get. One game I understand a kicker struggling. 2 and 4 is a concern. I am now concerned. One thing that has been the drum has been banged by Nick Sirianni is how windy it was. The Bull, I appreciate this. Far as the only one looking objectively, thank you. That's what I try. That's my goal every show, every breakdown. Wait, the play was on point, ball out before he came out of the break. Okay, that was difficult to go back and know what play you guys are talking about. Cherry Love, what's up, Cherry Love? AJ is a damn captain and should have never said what he said. Text Jalen about the offense, not the media. Yeah, text him or talk to him. Like, do that thing that seems to be a lost thing where you talk to somebody. Okay, now we got crack pipe references. All right, thank you. David Allison. A lot of people in the chat today. You guys are popping off. I appreciate it. Be Mo Careful. Love the name. At 1-4, you don't do it because things are falling apart and the negativity doesn't help. Now you're on a win streak. You talk so things get fixed so it doesn't fall apart. So the concern is that this is the first brick being removed for things to fall apart. That's, I think, the concern. Fuji! What's up, Fuji? Not protecting him at all? Again, objective. 100% objective. I didn't see any, like, the word panic I've heard people use. When I watched it, I didn't see panic from Jalen Hurts. Like, I didn't see happy feet. The overthrow to Johnny Wilson where there's just he made a terrible throw. I just think he made a terrible throw. He had time to throw. The rush was coming at him, but it was picked up, but it was pocket was collapsing a little bit. He sailed it. He made it terrible. I'd rather a quarterback sail a throw than make a horrible decision. Well, I'm trying to get somebody in here. I haven't gotten up yet. Maverick 1. Jalen Hurts has a record of 45-19 as a starter with the Eagles in his career. That sounds like it's good. That seems like it's a good record. Hurts will not win us a Super Bowl. I don't know how people say that when he literally like a holding call away from winning a Super Bowl. People act like he played in that Super Bowl and the moment was way too big for him. And I'm the one that has to point out to most people that he fumbled the ball early and he can't spot Patrick Mahomes 7 points. But even in spite of that, he played so well after that a holding call away from winning a Super Bowl. It wasn't like he got, oh God, yeah, Jalen Hurts got it at the Super Bowl. People act like he threw 6 interceptions in the Super Bowl. David Allison, you know who could read a field? Nick Foles. Are you talking about half a field? Because that's why they ran the RPO with a wildly immobile Nick Foles. So he could cut down and read half the field. Tanner McKee can read a field. April. Yes, AJ is being a diva, but he will get over it the next few catches his way. I hope so. Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt 3 years ago. He's the MVP of the league. Jalen Hurts last year, going into the San Francisco game, was the odds-on favorite to be the MVP. These aren't opinions. These are facts. This year, no, he's not an MVP. All I'm doing is letting you know that there's Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold? Those are the 6 guys that are ahead of Jalen Hurts in the MVP odds right now. Okay, David Allison, now you're just being a troll. Sam Bradford was better. Anybody else? Eric Wisniewski, what's going on, man? Nick should be like Torts, bench hurts for a quarter. Send a message to wake him up. There you go. I mentioned the fumble, yeah, in the Super Bowl. Michael Rosenfeld, hey man, it's true. I'm really enjoying the show. Thanks, man. You're not a sensationalist like the outside guy. I don't know what that means, but okay, thank you, appreciate it. Oh, we have a prediction already for the game. Carrie, what's going on? Eagles 34, Steelers 24. Hell yeah. And you know what? It's all passing touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley only has 60 yards. Anyway. Darnold is balling. Hey, you don't got to tell me. I know he's balling. That's why I picked him up in fantasy, because I'm a genius. He's still throwing to Justin Jefferson. Why not pick him up? That was my mentality. Brian, I'm taking AJ's side. Okay, there you go. Thanks everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Hey, make sure you guys like and subscribe on the Farzy Show, YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on Jacob Media. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel for all your Eagles pre- and post-game needs. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, where yours truly is bringing you your 76ers postcasts after every 76ers game. And I'll also be bringing you your Phillies postcasts as well over there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Again, I'll let you guys know if abruptly there's no show in the near future. I'll put up the thumbnail just saying no show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys tomorrow. See you then.